Hi everyone. I have some stuff to share with you. I'm on this really cool healing journey right now, and I've been learning about healing my family line and healing for future generations. And so I'm going to share a little bit of a journey that just happened recently. I was in my phone going through old pictures and I came across this picture of my relatives, the manifest from the ship that they were on coming from Italy, and pictures of my great grandparents. And I shared this with some of my friends and I'm like, how cool is that? So then the next morning, one of my friends, she does oracle cards. And for those of you who may say oracle cards are evil or whatever, I just want to remind you, like if I were to put a Bible verse on them, a lot of you would accept it as, oh, that's an encouragement from God and it's right on for what's going on today, because that's how the prophetic works. That's how God and spirit at work. And anyway, I don't have any problem with oracle cards, and I trust the Holy Spirit in all things. I let God lead me. Um, and so anyway, my friend had pulled an oracle card for me from a Archangel deck that she has. And what came up, this was the morning after I had found those pictures, and it said, and I didn't even realize this as this whole thing unfolded, but the card she had pulled was about ancestors, and it was saying, now is the time to remember where you have come from and what you may have inherited via your DNA. Genetic memories, patterns, behaviors, always remembering that our ancestors did the best they could with what they knew at the time and the circumstances in which they had lived their lives. Those on the other side of the veil often stand with us, waiting for forgiveness, acknowledgement, and freedom from pain that they were not able to clear while alive. Freeing them frees us. Healing is not limited to any one time, place, and event. It affects a far-reaching across many realms of existence. Archangel Metatron, who's been in existence since the earth was created, has seen everything that has happened to you and your family, including members you never met, going back generation after generation. Repetitive issues or circumstances seem to play out again and again. Families, poverty, alcoholism, infidelity, broken marriages, failed businesses. We have to heal ancestors too, and with Metatron's help, you can do this. By taking the healing back through the family line and then forward to the future, generations where DNA has been cleaned and the memories of the past challenges replaced by optimistic standards to be planted in new, fertile lives. Think about what needs healing in your family line today and bring this to light for clearing. The image on this card also asks us to acknowledge all the beauty of our ancestral line. You are the product of all of them, a survivor who has their strengths and talents and gifts. Maybe some of these were unexpressed in your lifetime, but you can do it for them now. And they will always encourage you on, like the nurse in the 1920s who had no modern medicine to prevent many from dying, but her grandchildren in the present is equipped to heal mind, body, and soul. Or great-grandparents who painted and were creative carried on to the young children who now display enormous gifts in everyone who wonders where they came from. There is so much ability to help unseen most of the time from the past and from the future. Take a moment to look at this image and see yourself as part of something much bigger than you can ever imagine. The souls are part of your soul group, always there and present if called. Realize, too, that the ancient figures at the back of the long line may be a new child now cradled in the Father's arm. That flow of love between generations is constantly rebirthing itself and remembering what it is to be human. You are able to call on your ancestors at this time to help you. They will you and cheer you on from afar. So she had pulled that card, and the card showed a line of family. So I want to show you something. So I have this picture from back when I got married, and it's kind of similar. It's that family line, me to my mom to my grandma. And I had found that picture of the manifest of when they came here from Italy and all of that the day before. And so I didn't really like put all this together until after the fact. So then now go through my workday, right? I have no intention, not thinking about my ancestors at all throughout my day. It was just, I didn't really take much, I mean, I listened to the card and I thought it was good, but then because I've been trying to do a lot of inner work lately and inner healing, so that way I don't pass on, stuff that I grew up with to my son. And I've been doing that. Some of the stuff that's helped me with that is Brian Christian shift sessions. Those really helped. And he had given me some instructions because I actually have another one scheduled with him. So that's where I kind of knew how to pull myself through the process that was about to unfold that day. And he had sent me that like literally right before all this happened. So I got triggered by something that had happened at work. And when looking at first, I was thinking, I need to get a new job. I need to quit, like I was reacting. And then when I realized this reaction is being triggered by an emotional response. So what's that emotion? What is this about? And I realized it was feeling like when I try to do the right thing, I'm getting punished for it. And then I'm like, okay, so I'm asking myself, where did this memory first, where did this emotional trigger first start in my life? And I instantly remembered a time when I was a kid and I got caught smoking, and I thought, because I was raised in church, like if I go and tell my mom that I smoked and confess to her that I did it because I had gotten caught, and I was like, I don't want, her to find out from somebody else. I'm going to go and just tell her what I did. And I did. And her response was to beat me like real good with a drumstick at the time. She just like lost it on me. And it was a really like, probably like the worst spanking I ever got as a kid, because I still remember that one to this day. It was traumatizing because she smoked herself, and she like it was bad. I'll just put it that way. Anyway, once I started feeling the emotions of that, and then I was like, okay, so I feel like there's more. And then all of a sudden I was brought to memories about, hearing about how my grandpa used to discipline my mom and her siblings, like, and how severe that was. And then I'm feeling the emotions of that, and I'm just getting overwhelmed, you guys, with love and with like, sadness too for what had happened. And then I remembered my grandpa had been through orphanages, and he, and his childhood, and he was abused, and I was just, and then I just kept feeling the emotions of all this abuse that has happened throughout generations within my family. Not just instead of teaching and correction, it was punishment. It was beatings physically. And anyway, I'm not totally done with that healing. Like, I know there's more to this, but at the time I was just, the emotions of what I was feeling was like almost too much for me, because it was so heavy. And so I just prayed over that situation, and I asked the angels to heal this in my family line. And then I had talked with a friend who kind of helped me work through the emotions because it was just so overwhelming. And then once I got off the phone with her, I thought about Miles, and I thought about an incident that I had spanked Miles, like when he ripped out flowers or something. And I was like, that was way overboard. And I remember Miles kept talking about it afterwards. Remember when you spanked me so hard for the flowers? And I felt like, oh my gosh, like that was me passing it on to the next generation, and this needs to stop. So I called in Miles, and I brought up that memory to him, and I apologized to him for that. And I explained that it wasn't right, my reaction, that I should have just corrected him, and we should have talked about it. There was no reason for that kind of a spanking, and I'm sorry. And he's like, I forgive you, Mom, and I love you. And it's just like, I had forgotten all of the stuff that card said. And then the next morning we were on our chat together, and I asked Molly, I was like, let me get another Metatron card. And she was like, what number? And I picked a number, and the number I ended up picking was again that card. And when she read it to me the second time, it really sinked in. Oh my gosh, this is what I just did. Like, what are the chances of that? There was some more stuff that came up afterwards of Oh yeah, and then this other lady that I've been reading with, um, the day I put all this together, I'm like, oh my gosh, you pulled that card, and this is what happened. I ended up working through family line stuff, and generational things, and then going to Miles, and I'm like, that's what that card said. I was like, I didn't even realize that. And then I look at my class's lesson that I was supposed to do for that day, and it was also on ancestors and that. So I'm like, I want to share this for a couple reasons. One, that it's worth it to do the work. It's so worth it to get in there and do the work. Don't just allow your reactions to be reactions and blame yourself. It's good to sometimes, to learn. We've got to stop um medicating our emotions with alcohol, with smoking weed. Like, if you're doing it to shut down your emotions, that's not the right reason to be doing it. If you're, anything, food, people, I coach people in weight loss, and I'm realizing more and more how being overweight, a lot of times it's just the symptom of the, you know it's just a symptom. It's not the root cause of what's going on. There's this inner healing work that we're all starting to be called to do, and it's so important for us to keep these problems that we've had for centuries to continue to flood on towards the future. And of course, our parents did the best they could with what they had, with what they were raised with, and their generations and their generations. We're always doing the best we can as people. So we got to give grace to all of them. And we kind of owe it to all of these people that have pioneered before us to heal the next generation, right? It's a beautiful thing. So I just want to encourage you guys. I mean, I know there's a lot more that I wanted to say, but it's already 12 minutes long. So I just want to encourage you, do the work, do the work. And if you want to know about shift sessions, you want to get connected to Brian, I can connect you with him. If you just want to talk with me about it, that's fine. I'm here. I want to help people get healed. Like, it's time we stop giving our power away. And when our emotions come, to allow ourselves to sit in them and start asking the questions, you'll get the answers. So, where is this coming from? You recognize the trigger for what it is. You feel those emotions. Don't push them down. Don't try to fix it right away. Just feel it. And ask yourself, where's the first place that this came into my life? And go back to the root cause. Go back to the root of where it started. And then you can go on from there, or you can have people work with you. There's people, oh my gosh, so many options, so many opportunities. I have a friend, Jessica, that does energy work, and she also has been healing these kind of things and activating like spiritual DNA inside of us. And it's an interesting season that I'm in, and I love the journey that the Holy Spirit has me on right now. And so much beautiful things are happening, and I'm seeing like all of this healing happening. And as we're developing and growing into this next season of life that is already starting to unfold, it's important that we do the work to get the healing done, the inner healing done. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope you all have an amazing day. And feel free to reach out if you have questions, you want to know more about what I'm talking about. And for those of my friends from the church, just because my path is different doesn't mean I'm lost. Trust, trust God. I have a foundation of love of God in my life, and I am very sure and confident in the path that God has me on right now. I love you all. Bye.